Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with a brand new video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about what I believe are the best times to potentially look to buy in. Let's hop on into it. Now, not too long ago, I made a video where I talked about potentially buying into stuff, and at that time, if you wanted to buy, what were going to be your best options to do so. And a lot of people in the comments were very heated, saying that this was a terrible time to buy in. And while I don't necessarily disagree with them, I figured this would be a good opportunity to talk about the times I believe are going to be the best to buy in. First up, obviously, we got to go with that operation. An operation provides so many different investing opportunities, and at this point, a lot of people view it as really the only time you should be investing in. We're going to get to that thought process in just a minute, but basically, I want to go over the fact that everything drops during this period. If you're looking to pick up a specific investment or even any items in general, most likely this is the most ideal time to do so. Problem is, I've mentioned this in one of my previous videos as well, we might be getting to a point where people are so prepared for this that the drop is not going to be as significant as most people think it's going to be. There's definitely that problem there, and that's definitely something I could see in the future. I just don't know if we're there yet, or if this maybe is a couple operations down the road. With all that being said though, this is most likely going to be the most ideal time to buy in that we're going to see in most likely a year-long span. Usually these are just great opportunities, and most of the time it does end up with some pretty low prices, whether that's when the operation hits or maybe a week or two into it. Usually this is one of the most ideal times to grab a little bit of an extra investment for a little bit cheaper. Now, one common investing theme, not for CSGO but just in general, is that time in the market beats timing the market, and generally for CSGO that's a little bit more incorrect than it is correct in my opinion. Obviously time in the market's going to do you well. The majority of items are most likely going to increase, but as we just saw with an operation, usually during an operation, if we want to look at past trends, it's one of the better times to buy. You could just dollar cost average your way through CSGO investing, but it's not going to work as efficiently because the CSGO market is predictable. It's not 100% predictable, but it's more predictable than something like the stock market. The stock market has so many different factors playing on it, whereas with CSGO and CSGO investing, you know, or at least have a general idea of what should be happening. Most of the time, it follows that pattern. Therefore, I think time in the market is not necessarily going to be the greatest factor, but understanding the market and the market trends that we've seen in the past and are more likely to see again is going to be your biggest asset moving forward if you truly want to understand the best times to buy, and in turn you'll most likely understand when are the most ideal times to sell as well. Now, if you miss out on the operation time or it's just not for you, that's definitely okay. There's a couple other big periods that you need to look out for, and the next one is going to be the summer slowdown. Now, we didn't really see one this year, and maybe that means we're not going to see it again in the future. However, I think this was a one-off occurrence because of the 10-year anniversary. People were excited to play. The market was really only going up during the summer, which is usually just not what we see, and therefore I think this can kind of be racked up to a little bit of an anomaly of a summer, something unusual, something that maybe we won't see again, maybe we might, but overall it's just completely different than the past trends, and therefore I want to talk about the trends that we saw beforehand. Usually during the summer we see prices fall off decently significantly, usually coming off a bigger peak, and therefore the prices fall down. Now, they don't fall down super low, like lower than they were before the peaks. As you can see here, Sticker 2 Capsule is a great example of this, but basically this is usually one of the better times to look to buy, is right after one of these peaks when the market comes crashing down, because we might see just an overcorrection where the price goes a little bit lower than it shouldn't have been. It goes a little bit lower than what the market is actually at that point, and this could be another great time to potentially pick up a couple more items or a couple more investments or whatever you're looking to do. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest, those are the big two you should be looking out for if you're willing to spend some time waiting. Obviously, those are the most ideal times because they take a while to get to, and in the past they haven't been really that consistent on an exact date. Therefore, they've kind of generated a little bit of a hype around them for investing once they've actually hit, and usually, like with an operation, people are excited for an operation. Otherwise, if you can't get one of those two times to buy, you do still have some chance or some decent opportunity. The biggest thing I want to point out is when you're looking at your month graph, you need to see some sort of a significant downturn, or at least you should if you're looking to buy. Most of the time, if you're looking to buy, it's not going to be immediately that you should be buying, or else you're going to kind of lose out on a little bit of the potential profit there. Whether you're buying in at 25 cents or 20 cents is going to make a significant difference if the price goes to 50 cents. You're going to be looking at 150% gain versus a 100% gain, which is a significant amount of money that, if you're buying a lot of these cases, is going to add up. Now, being completely honest, these are the majority of the times you really should be buying CSGO skins. If you can wait, those are obviously the most ideals. Otherwise, honestly, it doesn't make that big of a difference if you're constantly dollar cost averaging in. It's not something I specifically recommend because it's quite easy to avoid, and honestly, sitting with a decent amount of money in your Steam balance is usually not the worst idea, potentially if something a little bit newer pops up. But overall, that's pretty much all I got for you today, so I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.